Welcome back. As we earlier said, that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have stressed that the stability of Egypt was paid by the sacrifices of many martyrs who sacrificed their lives for Egypt and also their families, adding that the state will do all it can to alleviate the burdens over all the sectors of society and the citizens. And also these remarks came during his inspection over the mega project in Al Minya Jadida, or the new Minya governorate, and for the development projects specifically carried in Al Ma'sara village in Upper Egypt in Minya under the presidential initiative Decent Life. And he said that all development projects focus over serving citizens everywhere, and also he noted that the state is keen on serving citizens in the countryside and Upper Egypt. And he also expressed his gratitude for the voluntary work done by all the civil society. And we're very delighted to be having with us live over the phone Dr. Amira Sabeq, the human development expert. Good morning, Dr. Amira.
Good morning, dear, to you and all your audience.
How are you doing?
Great.
We're going to go to a short break where we're going to be featuring a report talking about that particular event yesterday, and I'm going to come back to you. So you stay with us.
Okay.
We are awaiting implemented as part of Decent Life initiative for rural areas. As he inaugurated a number of development projects at the Upper Egypt Governorate at Al Minya, President al-Sisi hailed the generous Egyptian people, particularly at Upper Egypt, for their greatness in writing down history and establishing civilizations. He reiterated his confidence in Egyptian capabilities in making accomplishments and asserted that the country is moving forward in its development path against those who desired to strip off its identity. The president noted that Egypt, like any other nation worldwide, was influenced by the year-long Russia-Ukraine war, which caused a rise in energy prices and a disruption to food supply chain. However, he added that the economic reform and social protection programs largely alleviated the impact of the global economic crisis. The president also elaborated that the state developed its economic plan through activating local industries to help decrease imports against all skeptic attempts and terror acts. He said that the good living conditions of the Egyptian citizen remains in the country's top priority, asserting his confidence in the people's ability to overcome all challenges. The head of state urged the government to prepare a new package of wage and pension rises to the state employees. In the Minya Governorate, the presidential tour included Al Ma'sara village, located in Malawi area. Later, President al-Sisi inspected the agricultural complex, the dairy products center, the developed post office, as well as the Decent Life Initiative Library, which was newly established in Al Ma'sara village. The president also visited the School of Excellence in the same village, touring the facilities, including the theater and chemistry lab. During the visit, the new Minya city, the president inspected the house for every Egyptian project. The president also visited STEM school and watched a documentary on such schools regarded as incubators for distinguished technology and science students. Welcome back. As I earlier said, with us now live over the phone is Mrs. or Dr. Amira Sabeq, the human development expert. Welcome back, Dr. Sabeq.
Hello, dear.
How are you doing? So
Great.
We're talking about the mega projects that were inaugurated by His Excellency, the head of state, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, in the new Minya Governorate. So how do you see the president's efforts and interests and precise efforts to develop with the Upper Egypt?
It's very obvious for everyone that President Sisi now is very keen to consolidate citizen rights all over Egypt. We can go back to all the projects that has been done in Upper Egypt, like the acute complex, all the projects that aimed to develop Upper Egypt by securing supplies to this region specifically. Let's say that during the previous 2 or 3 years, there were mega projects. There were projects of expansions to several water plants in ENA. There was the Faculty and Hospital of Dentistry in Asyut. There was the Specialized Hospital. There was Aziz Hospital for Women. There was lots and lots of speeches that insisted to show the whole world that President Sisi is not just focusing on the big cities in Egypt, but he is giving big attention, and he is very keen to show this interest in Upper Egypt as well. Now we can say that Sisi is putting the states and the Upper Egypt area as top of his priorities, and he is working very hard to improve the quality of life for Egyptian citizens by implementing several developmental projects there. Egypt is, by the way, is pumping a lot of investments, like trillions of Egyptian pounds, to develop this area. So it is a proactive action from the state to show the whole world that we are developing the whole country, not only the shown cities in front of the world, but we are taking the development process from everywhere in the country. All the projects, all the initiatives that have been started there in this area shows that we are very keen to develop every inch in Egypt. We can say that, like providing drinking water, now we have new sewage system to cover the drinking water. We are having lots of projects there. I don't know if the Egyptians know that during the last 2 years we are having like more than 18,000 new housing units in specific regions in this area. So the state has also connected natural gas to 11 million housing units in Upper Egypt, which was a big development for the health sector there. There are road access, there are schools that have started there. So now we can say that Upper Egypt is getting a lot of attention and a lot of highlights from Sisi and all the government in Egypt.
Right. Talking about a specific success that is have been booming and culminating all the achievements of Decent Life Initiative, the Masara village. And earlier, President Abdel Fattah Sisi have inaugurated a number of projects, including the agricultural complex, the dairy production center, the post office there, as well as the Decent Life Initiative library. And also, he visited a school of excellence, and he during the visit in New Minya City, he inspected the house for every Egyptian. Talk to us about the importance of each and every project that I mentioned to the people in Upper Egypt and to the whole of Egypt. How is that affected into development, into civilization, into economic reform? Because these are not usual, projects that could be effected only in 7 years.
As you said, this is not usual during the previous time in Egypt, and Egypt used to focus only on the seen cities by all countries. Now, when we talk about Al Masara project, lots of investment has been put there, which was very unique to put such an investment in such areas. Al Masara is one of the very internal areas in Egypt, and it has been neglected for a lot of time. Now we can say that all the projects that has been there are giving lots of opportunities even for youth. It is opening lots of hope to these people that besides getting lots of job opportunities, we are having a more cultured life, a way to show people that yes, we can see you, you are not neglected. We can say it is adding to the whole country. It's adding to the whole culture of the country that no one is being neglected. Even the schools there, even the projects there, I'm not sure, and I heard the question well or not, but I can say that all the projects there in Masara shows and reflects that we are investing money in the places that will get us back lots of benefits, not just money, not just financial value, but we are adding to the culture of the people in Egypt that you can go to new cities, you can do new projects, you can start new jobs. So it is playing a big role in the culture as well.
Right. There is also the STEM schools that work as an incubator for distinguished technology and science students, and it is a leap in the educational reform program. Talk to us about the STEM schools projects.
Okay, when we speak about education in general, we are talking about the infrastructure of a whole country. Now, in the whole world, education is the backbone to show that we are ready for the agile world that is coming and facing us. We are facing a very challenging world, which is the VUCA world, that it's very volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. So when we focus on education in the Masara project or in Masara area, we are talking about getting new generation that used to be neglected, getting new generation that was having no added value to the country, and now we are telling them, no, we are giving you a new education system, we are giving you attention from the country, we are giving you a lot of investment in your culture, in your character, in your area, to be proactive citizens. Some areas in Egypt and some people in Egypt used to be just reactive. They are not engaged, they are not coping, they are not giving anything to the country. Now when we speak about all the projects that has been there and the education for the people there, this means that we are telling you, yes, you have a say in the country, you have a role in the country. We need a lot of generations, especially in the technical life. I don't just need people who are just doctors and engineers. No, in the Masara, we are giving them a model that there are other areas that we can focus on. We can have technicians, we can have new jobs coming from these areas. So it is not just opening job opportunities in Egypt, we are changing culture, we are getting out new generation ready for the VUCA world. We are showing the world, the country is showing people in Upper Egypt and in Masara that we can see you and you are an added value to the country as well.
Right. Also, it was very notable the reception of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. He was received by warmness and applaud by the people, citizens in Upper Egypt and El Minya Governorate and El Masara village in particular. He talked to them about the sacrifices of martyrs and how they sacrificed their lives for the security and development and the welfare of Egyptian society. He also hailed the efforts of the volunteers of the civil society in particular. He talked about that a lot. Talk to us about the value of volunteering in civil work.
Okay, when I, as a citizen, can see all the effort given to me by the top management in my country, I don't know if people know that or not, that President Sisi has breakfast with people. He sat in with them and talked with them, and he had breakfast talking about a lot of projects that we have hope in Masara area. When he went there, definitely he was received by people who started to see hope in him. I mean, when I feel as a family that I'm looked at by the top management, and I feel that I'm secure in such a country, I feel that I have been, I am part of the investment in this country. President Sisi made everyone feel, yes, you are part of the family, you are one big family, and you are looked at. And the welcome was just a thank you for seeing us, thank you for taking us into consideration, thank you of making our whole country one unit. We are not separated from each other during, according to cities. So when you feel that you are welcomed by the top management and you are seen by them, definitely they felt that, yes, you are our backbone, we are relying on you, we want to be hand in hand with you. And by the way, these people now are willing to do anything, any effort, to put all their effort and to risk lots of things just to fulfill the dream of Egypt's government for the coming year, or the coming years, I mean.
Right. Also, talking about the, the different infrastructural projects that were affected, not only in Minya, through to Minya Governorate, but to other governorates also. is very important. The boom of infrastructural projects that have taken place, the roads, the housing projects, the locating the people, the low-income brackets from informal settlements to new housing projects that are equipped with new schools, with health centers, with social clubs, and with new hospitals and everything. Talk to us about this also. Of course, in addition to the efforts of Decent Life and its counterparts.
Okay. During the previous years, lots of countries were actually so much affected by what happened in the economic life by the COVID. But Egypt took it in another word or another side and aspect, and Egypt started to look at the macroeconomic environment and the microeconomic environment and to see how it can use it. We can see that Egypt, during that time, started to have a lot of infrastructure in different areas, not in just located area in Egypt, but in different areas in Egypt. The government started to announce about social medication packages that include widening coverage like of Takaful and Karama. There was a lot of cash transfer programs. There were hikes to pensions and public sector wages. There were new tax measures. There were another actions to alleviate the impact of rising prices all over Egypt. Egypt, during the previous time, requested international monetary funds to support and implement a comprehensive economic program to address the negative spillovers from global economic conditions and what is happening in the political life around. So we can say that Egypt's overall macroeconomic environment during the previous year, as expected, it was able to face and to start to improve over the medium term, and to create fiscal space remains crucial to advance human and fiscal capital for the Egyptian population as a whole. By the way, this exceeded hundreds of millions. And this was to continue a pursuit to pursue reforms in all areas in Egypt, which was part of the idea and the goals of Hayat Karima. So we can see that all the infrastructure, all the development, it was like a jigsaw puzzle. Lots of people are putting efforts and value in different areas, and when we look at the whole picture now, like a whole puzzle, now we are having a complete picture. Everyone in the country knows his role. Everyone knows that this value will come back to him, and this makes us more engaged because this is our country. We are getting more value of it when we put effort. We felt that it is like a win-win situation. Whenever we put effort in it, we will get a better life, and this was the goal of Hayat Karima.
Yes, of course. And also the president, while he was addressing the people, he talked to them. He explained that the situation worldwide is an economic crisis everywhere, and the military confrontation between Russia and Ukraine have affected the rise of energy prices that have affected on the prices of gas and oil everywhere, and that's why the prices are hiking not only in Egypt. Egypt is the less or the least compared to other countries. And that's why he focused that such projects by civil society are going to be helping a lot in this situation. Talk to us about what the president have focused to or pointed out at. How important are the projects of, organizations like the initiatives of the Hayat Karima or Decent Life or other initiatives? How have it helped the Egyptian people or the citizens?
Okay, let's speak first about the habits that Egyptians used to have in the past in their consumption and their consumption for commodities. Egyptians used to pay a lot in things that are not necessary. Now Egyptians are getting educated. Yes, you can use your resources, which is part of the sustainability of the country. If we focus on it, what is going on now, it is helping Egypt to be a more sustainable place. It is a more sustainable area. Yes, what we are getting educated now in Egypt by our government, you can use all the resources you need, but keep in mind that we need to keep some resources for the future generations. We cannot just consume and waste all the resources we have now without putting the coming generations into our mind. Let's say that now Egypt has become one of 10 countries worldwide that is putting sustainability in its consideration as top priority. what we are doing now is teaching people. Yes, we have lots of resources in Egypt, but we have to make the best use of them. We have to put them in the right places. The government of Egypt, together with all the stakeholders, are working together now to deal with all the challenges identified in all the previous, especially in the one in COP27. We were having lots of challenges, and we are discussing now how to take these challenges, to take them from the crisis part to the opportunity part. What Egypt is teaching the Egyptians now, that you can use all the projects in Egypt to have new lives, to have new jobs, to have new revenue, to have new. We are learning now how to gain money, not just to spend money. I know that Egypt is investing a lot of money in all the projects now. Maybe lots of people cannot see the results at the moment, but I'm sure, like by 2030, I'm sure that all these projects will give back to the Egyptians in the way they live, in the education, in the utilities, in the facilities they are having. Egypt now is playing a big role in the area of sustainability. Egypt is playing a big role in the MENA region, and we are working hand in hand with all the countries around us to fulfill what we are aiming at through projects and through lots of initiatives like Hayat Karima, like Takaful, like all these things. And who knows, maybe during the coming years, the Egyptian youth may start new initiatives in different aspects to continue the picture and the puzzle to have the better life we are all seeking for.
To be also subjective, the crisis that is overwhelming the whole world have affected the food supplies everywhere, have affected industries everywhere, have affected the prices like we earlier said. And that's why the president have focused on his statements over the government's efforts to localize the industry and focus over activating the local industries and activating the food industry inside Egypt in order to lessen the capacity of imports and export more. And this is what happened lately during that year. He inaugurated many food industries, and he inaugurated many other industries on many spheres. Talk to us about the importance of such projects now at this particular moment.
Okay, if you want to see lessons learned from countries around us, we can look now at some countries in Europe that used to have a very high living of standards. People now, maybe, I don't know, they couldn't face the economic challenges nowadays, and the inflation went very hard to the extent that people are leaving their countries that we used to say, oh, this is our dream to go to. These countries that Egyptians dreamed of living there, thinking and believing that they will have a better life standard there. Now, these countries, unfortunately, is driving its citizens out of any. They have to leave because of the prices that they cannot afford, and they are going to other countries. If Egyptians want to learn or to know or to evaluate the value they are getting from these projects, they can simply see that with all what is happening in inflation and in currency variance that's happening in the prices around us, we are still having a decent life in our country. We are still living. We don't have to leave our country, opposite to what's happening in other countries. So when we say yes, we have to manage and limit our consumption now and to invest our money in things that are really important, we can see that this will show us that we are preparing you for the coming years. The government is preventing us to waste our resources as a country and as humans, so that we won't have to leave or we won't have to suffer. Maybe we are having not a luxurious life. Some of us cannot afford a luxurious life that we used to, but at least we are sustaining a whole life. These projects that you are talking about in all aspects in Egypt, we are investing a lot of money, and not just money, we are investing a lot of knowledge, which will be reflected in Egypt, our Egyptian youth. We are opening new projects for them. The infrastructure that's happening now is helping all the youth to go to new cities and to have a new life there and to have new jobs there. So there is expansion in the housing, there is expansion in the projects. So when we look at the picture from far, Egypt now is providing its youth new places to live with, new job opportunities, new way of thinking, a new culture that if you put effort, it will come back to you. But if you are just consuming what we have, you will lose everything.
Right. Dr. Amira Sabeq, the human development expert, I'd like to thank you so much, and you have a beautiful day. We're going to go to a short break, and we'll come to continue the breakfast show, so stay with us.